Okay, in this screencast, we're going to talk about modern layout. And the first thing that I want to talk about is why is the modernist or the grid layout a good fit for web design? And it's because it gives structure and organization to the web page, produces a stable website, one that you look at and it's something that you would want to look at and read more about, not just pass it by. It gives a sense of familiarity, and you can also resize accordingly depending on if you're using your laptop or your cell phone. There's no issues, it just works, which is great. The So here's a couple, well, here's a question. So how do modern pages use the grid? And here's two examples. So here we see, like here's a, I could take a grid, and here's a grid, and here's a grid. Or columns, I guess you could say. It's very well organized and it's clear. There's, the same space in between all of this. Over here, there's boxes. So we see there's 9 boxes, which you'll learn about in a minute. And then there's a side panel on over here and the title on the top. So it's very clean and organized. And when I look at this, I'm not overwhelmed by the content and I can easily navigate my way through. Our next question is, what is the rule of thirds? And the rule of thirds, what you do is we draw a line here, and a line here, and then a line here, and a line here. And that gives us 9 boxes. Here we go, just like this. And this grid, in essence, helps us to place and position design elements. So here, we know where the center is if we want to put something there, or if we want something over here and then something over here, something equally spaced. It really helps out with the design process. And here's an example of this. So we have the nine squares here, and then there's also a sidebar added, and that's fine. But you can see it's clean and organized and equally spaced. They stuck to the grid there. Another question is, what is the 960 grid layout? And it's the 960 is based on pixels, and 960 was chosen because it's divisible, as you can see by all of these numbers. And you're probably wondering, what does this mean? And I'm going to show you. So over on this side, there's 16 vertical lines coming down the page. Now you don't see the vertical lines when you actually look at the web page, but these lines help in the design process. Things are equally spaced, just to make sure where to place it, and it looks good, and that's because they used the 960 grid layout. So that's kind of how it works. Over here we have the 12 column grid, which is just another way that another layout. And then we're going to look at a couple more examples. Newspapers over here often use the grid layout because there is so much content and information, it can be overwhelming. So the grid layout is an easy way to organize all that information. I mean, they obviously don't put all of it, and so you can click on links. They throw in the picture, but it looks so clean, and it's easy to pick. If you're interested in different things, you can pick what you want to read. Which is really nice. And I included this because it's something I feel like we're all fairly familiar with, the newspaper. And then I included this one as well because a lot of people do shop online. And so this is also something that most people are familiar with, I would say. So this is more like the rule of thirds. It's a little bit bigger rule of thirds. But it's easy. We can click on, if you want to click on the shirt that you like or whatever you're looking at. It's really nice. So the grid layout is very nice, especially for websites. I think it just makes things organized and sharp, and it makes the person looking at the website really want to look at it. And because the website is so well laid out, it will make the customer or the consumer's experience more enjoyable. So that's the modern layout.